I mean, I guess the most obvious response is, well, let's start declassifying some documents. What possible justification could you have from hiding something from me? Because it's my government. Well, of course, the answer is because it's not your government. It belongs to the people who run it.
So that building got reported being down 26 minutes before it actually fell. And you can't...
Totally normal.
Yeah, right? There's a woman on BBC...
Shut up, conspiracy theorist.
There's a woman on TV. I feel like we're being pushed into civil war.
Yes. Oh, of course.
Everything has been a fucking lie.
Yeah. It's endless. And I mean, I have thoughts about every single thing you said. I mean, I guess the most obvious response is, well, let's start declassifying some documents. And why are there any 9/11? I mean, what was that actually? And I don't know the answer. I have a lot of theories about it. I was not fighting any wars, of course. I was just a journalist, but I was definitely I was paying close attention in Washington and in various locations around the world to how that unfolded at the time. And but why in the world would any 9/11 document remain classified?
Yeah.
And thousands are. And the fact that they are has stymied a series of lawsuits by the families of people who killed on 9/11 against the Saudi government. Now, whether those suits are justified or not, I have no idea. But I really don't know what I think about all of that. I suspect there's a lot of lying there too. But what's the possible rationale in keeping any of that classified? And the truth is, and this is true in our private lives as well as in our country's life, secrecy abets dishonesty, of course. It's like, I don't want my wife to see my phone. Why? Why? You know what I mean? A buddy of mine once said to me, have you heard of Life 360? And I was like, yeah, the thing where all your family members, he goes, yeah, my wife tried to get me on that. No fucking way. And I was like, why? Well, it's no one's business. It's an invasion of privacy. I started laughing. We were in a hunting trip. I started laughing. I said, wow, you're... And by the way, I love privacy. I do. I think privacy is a prerequisite to humanity. Like, if no privacy, you can't be human. I believe in privacy. However, secrecy is a slightly different thing and a sinister thing, actually. Why in a democracy would we have big secrets? Particularly decades down the road or 80 years down the road, or in the case of the Kennedy assassination, 61 years down the road. Well, of course, the only reason is to keep misdeeds hidden. That's the only reason, period. It's not sources and methods, sorry.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's just declassify it and find out. And of course, that'll never happen because there is deception at the heart of that. Now, I don't know exactly why. I have some thoughts on it, but I don't know if they're true or not, so I'm not going to articulate them. But, there's definitely still a lot of lying about that. And people sense it. And whether they're right in their specific theories or not, I can't say. But they're right to be very suspicious of 9/11, absolutely. And we can prove that because there are many thousands of documents still classified. That is proof that there's something amiss, that there's lying, period. It's true of the Kennedy assassination. It's true of everything that remains hidden from us. What could possibly be the pretext for hiding what our government is doing if it is in fact our government, if this is an exercise in self-government, if this is a, whatever you want to call it, constitutional republic, democracy, whatever, if the people rule, what possible justification could you have from hiding something from me? Because it's my government. Well, of course, the answer is because it's not your government. It belongs to the people who run it. The organization exists for its own sake, not for yours. You just pay for it. And that kind of justifies revolution right there. Now, I'm not rooting for revolution, don't want one. A lot of people will die. I don't know if it'll work. They rarely improve anything. They leave lasting scars. I'm very anti-revolution. However, as an academic matter, you have the groundwork for one because the system itself is based on a lie. And the lie is that the government serves the people. And that, of course, is not true. It oppresses the people and uses them as cannon fodder and as bank accounts for its own sake. And that's not a system that can continue very long because it's fundamentally rotten.
I want to dive into
I don't want to believe any of this, but the evidence has convinced me.
I've heard you talk several times on Building 7, and I never looked into that until right before this interview, just because of time. And so that building got reported being down 26 minutes before it actually fell. And you can't...
Totally normal.
Yeah, right? There's a woman on BBC...
Shut up, conspiracy theorist.
There's a woman on TV on BBC talking about...
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah, talking about how the building is already down has already collapsed, and it's right behind her.
Well, let me just
26 minutes later, the building collapsed. What do you think? What do you think?
Well, first of all,
is?
how dare you for noticing? It's really your fault for noticing that, I think. And I think you're a bad person for noticing it. Okay, just to be clear. That's the official position of Washington. Shut up. I don't know the answer, of course. I'm not a structural engineer. A lot of people think what happened to Building 7 seems impossible. A lot of structural engineers have written this and think that seems impossible. It seems impossible to me too, but I don't know. All I know is that as in the case that I described with NATO and Trump, if your answer to a sincere question like, how did that happen, is shut up, it's to attack me for asking the question, then I know you're rotten. Mm-hmm. I know you're serving evil. I mean, that's the hallmark of it. You're attacking me for asking an obvious question? Really? Because I'm not a slave. I don't work for you. I'm a free man in a supposedly free country. Therefore, I have an inalienable right, which is to say given by God right, to ask obvious questions or even non-obvious questions, any question I want. You can't attack me for that. You certainly can't punish me for it, but they will. So that just tells you that they're bad, period. Now, how bad? I don't know the answer to that. In what ways exactly are they bad? I don't know, but they've already showed me they are bad. So, and those, by the way, are like people I know personally and live near and whose bidding I did unwittingly for years. So like I have a kind of bitterness and intensity about my feelings on these subjects that are just real. As I'm sure you do, because you fought their wars. You know what I mean? I didn't fight their wars. I just watched.
It's enraging.
Yeah.
Do you, I feel like we're being pushed into civil war.
Yes. Oh, of course.
Who do you think is pushing? I mean,
it's all on instinct.
With the weaponization of media, social media, bots. I mean, all this, all the lies in the division. I mean,
of course.
Who do you think is pushing it? Or are we already in it?
Well, we're already in it. We're in definitely an undeclared conflict. It's a conflict, of course. If this were happening in another country, you would see this was, strife of some kind. I mean, who knows what to call it? But of course, I mean, it's the oldest. It is a strategy. I don't think it's ever fully articulated anywhere by anybody, but it's a conspiracy of like-minded instincts, as I noted at the beginning. People from the same class, the beneficiaries of our current system, understand what people all understand intuitively, which is divide and conquer. Like, fight amongst yourselves. Hey, white guy, it's the black guy's fault. Black guy, the white guy is impressing you or whatever. Racism is America's biggest problem, right? Okay. Racism is not America's biggest problem. That's for sure. Or whatever, the tranny thing or the Israel protests. The biggest thing happening in America is a fight in a faraway country. Huh? No. Over 100,000 people just died of fentanyl this year. Like, what? I'm not even taking a position on the Israel thing. I'm coming at this from very limited interest, actually, and I'm not against Israel. I like nice country to visit. I wish everybody well, just in general, I do. I want to, try to. But if you're telling me that conflict is the biggest thing happening in my country, fuck you, actually, because no, it's not.
No matter where you're watching Sean Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.